What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, yesterday on Thursday, the Chargers did introduce finally officially Jim Harbaugh as their new head coach, and it's a long press conference. It was like an hour long. I probably got like 20 minutes into it, but obviously once Harbaugh started to speak, you kind of definitely felt the enthusiasm, everything that he always wants to inject and bring into a franchise or program. Definitely am looking forward to seeing what he can do with my lowly Chargers. But yeah, overall, definitely very excited. There were some other rumors or some other news that his son Jay Harbaugh, who I believe was a special teams coach out there at Michigan, is going to be coming to LA to be doing the same coaching on the special teams, which kind of sucks because Ryan Ficken was one of the bright spots of the coaching the past couple of years, where he definitely turned around special teams, because the Chargers always sucked with kickers and making field goals and even punting correctly and covering punts and all that. But everything was looking like it was fixed and nice, and maybe he was going to be the one coach to stay on. But I guess you let Harbaugh make all the choices, and it's obvious that he's going to let his son do that, which is okay. It's better than Belichick, who tried to made his son coach the defense, like as a main coordinator, which is pretty crazy. But overall, definitely looking forward to seeing how this pair will do in LA. Definitely looking forward to the 2024 season later this year. And then Anthony Davis was named an All-Star reserve of the Lakers for the NBA All-Star game in a couple of weeks, and kind of surprised just because he missed a little bit of the last game, and now he's going to be missing that game tonight, or what was tonight, against the Celtics. But even if you don't have LeBron or Anthony Davis, it looks like as long as you have Austin Reeves, you're able to still beat the Celtics on the road in their home place. So Lakers got that dub 114-105. Austin Reeves had 32 points and a career high 7 threes. And obviously, as I mentioned, no Anthony Davis or LeBron, and they were still able to get the team with the best record in the East a loss on their record, which is nice, especially because it's big-time rivalry, and a lot of these guys stepped up. Even Jackson Hayes starting for the first time. He was obviously very excited being a Laker fan all his life, and especially starting for the first time in this big-time rivalry, which is pretty cool for him. So definitely very excited about this, and I'm pretty sure they play the next couple of days or so. This one kind of caught me by surprise that they're playing this early and against the Celtics, but I'm pretty sure that game back in LA in a couple months or so will be pretty big, and hopefully the Lakers will get another victory around then. A lot of rumor mill stuff, especially with USC football in this video, but according to some rumors on X, apparently if Kenneth Grant, one of the top defensive linemen for Michigan, decides to enter the portal, which looks like he might be doing here pretty soon, then he would be looking to go to someplace like USC, and especially with an old coach like Coach Sean Nua, who is still left over on the staff for Lincoln Riley, and obviously coached a lot of these defensive linemen for Michigan while he was there before USC. So it could be a nice get if they're able to get him on the roster. But there was also this weird rumor, too, that both Lincoln Riley and Coach Sean Nua reportedly visited one of the better defensive linemen on Michigan's side, and Mason Graham. So I don't know if that is really protocol with like a lot of these things happening with the NCAA, because all of a sudden like schools like Tennessee and even Virginia are starting to sue the NCAA over some either allegations or some things happening with NIL and all that stuff with these high school players once they're on their team. So, yeah, I don't know if you can really contact a player like that. I think even Iowa said they were going to self-impose something because they did contact an offensive lineman from Alabama who is now going to their team as a transfer. So that could be pretty bad news for USC, hoping that it wasn't exactly true. But I'm pretty sure the same thing happened with Jordan Addison a few seasons ago. But either way, as long as it's the players doing it, I guess it's fine. But if it's true that the coaches were doing it, then it's probably a bit more sketchy. So hopefully that isn't the case. But if you're able to get one of these guys, and if not both of them, especially having ties with the defensive line coach and Coach Nua, then this will be a big time get for USC and their football season in 2024. And head coach Lincoln Riley did offer an elite cornerback in 2025 named Dorian Brew pretty recently. I don't know who's putting these posts up. They keep saying they're elite players. Hopefully they are. But yes, definitely looking forward to seeing what this guy does in the future. And they did release a top 5 of all the California high school players, that especially a lot of these names I know because USC has been trying to get them pretty much the past year or two. But obviously at the top is the cornerback or defensive back in Dejon Lee. They have a linebacker in Nasir Wyatt, I believe is from Mater Dei. Jordan Davison, I forget if he's offense or defense. Madden Faraimo, who is a linebacker. I think he's from San Diego. And then Noah McHale is also a linebacker we mentioned a few videos back from the city of Laverne. Obviously one of the top guys out there in the top 5. At least they're trying to swing for the fences and try to get these guys to try to stay home, especially when you're looking at the top talent in the state of California. I think even that Noah McHale linebacker guy is looking to return to USC. I thought he might have visited this last weekend, but apparently there's, even though it's called Junior Day, there's multiple weekends of it at USC, and they're having another one this weekend with a lot of top talented guys coming. And I don't know if McHale is returning or if it's his first time coming to this Junior Day for USC this year, but hoping this will come as a commitment at some point for a lot of these guys, because they are talking very highly about USC, and I'm loving every second of it. So apparently USC is losing Cliff Kingsbury again to the NFL, but he is taking the offensive coordinator job with the Raiders, which I was surprised too that even the UCLA coach Chip Kelly was trying to get even an offensive coordinator job with the Raiders and even Commanders. But yeah, that's UCLA football team falling apart. I'm all for it. But yeah, we'll see what Kingsbury can do. And there was a promotion within the Ravens organization where they promoted, like, I think the linebackers coach up to their main defensive coordinator, which was pretty big in my opinion, because then they're not going to have the opportunity to try to poach Coach D'Anton Lynn, who is the main defensive coordinator for USC going into his first season, because I kind of thought he might have gotten poached by somebody, but luckily, like, the Chargers are finding some defensive guys already, and then they promoted that spot, and he recently came from there to UCLA prior to coming back to USC. So yeah, I'm glad they just promoted within, and we don't have to worry about like how Kingsbury did, where he was only there for a couple weeks and then headed to the NFL. So yes, luckily it looks like at least D'Anton Lynn will be staying for at least one more season. And then there was another rumor out there that supposedly Caleb Williams may have said that he does not want the Chicago Bears to draft him number 1 overall, but he was hoping to maybe get drafted by Washington or the Raiders. I understand Washington because he's from the DC area, so it will be a homecoming for him. But the Raiders, maybe it's just because it's Vegas and the opportunities to make a bit more money there, I'm assuming. But they don't really have a top pick. I think even the Chargers pick before them, and maybe that's why Kingsbury did take that offensive coordinator job, because there's a possibility there might be a trade in the works, whether it's with Washington and the Bears or the Raiders and the Bears. You never know. It's crazy trade season coming up. Definitely getting very excited and giddy over it. So definitely looking forward to seeing what type of big news comes out of this. And USC basketball did play tonight at home against Oregon. Ended up losing that game 69-78. And it was a bad look for Coach Andy Enfield after the game, kind of throwing the players under the bus instead of just more blaming himself. So who knows what's going to end up happening with him. I think the AD will probably let him stay for the rest of the season, but they will probably let him go. And maybe, you never know, they might just keep him, because they kind of just keep people around for a while until, something controversial off the court ends up happening. But we will see. And then ex-Duke player Paolo Banchero was also named an All-Star reserve for the East Side, so that's pretty cool. Definitely well-deserved, the main star for that team in Orlando, and definitely one of the better sophomores out there because he will be playing in that sophomore rookie game as well. So it'll be a pretty big weekend for him. Speaking of big weekend, it's of course number 7 Duke versus number 3 North Carolina. I forget if it's at Duke or in Carolina, but either way, it's always like a back and forth battle with these teams. And yeah, Duke sometimes gets a sweep win. They'll win 2 games over them in the season, but then, when they have to play that third time, then North Carolina will sneak one out, especially in the tournament sometimes. So I don't know. Definitely looking forward to it. Hopefully Duke comes out on top, but yeah, it's going to be a big time upset either way. And then Matt Hurt, ex-Duke player, signed a 10-day contract a few days back with the Memphis Grizzlies, and they're probably just going to keep him because of how many injuries they have, and I believe they recently did a trade to send one of their big men out. He's obviously a taller player as well, so hoping he does end up getting a full guaranteed contract to be able to stay with them the rest of the season. The Anaheim Ducks beat San Jose the other day 3-2 in overtime, so a very nice victory for them, and especially against a team in their same division. And it looks like Christopher Nolan recently said that his next movie will most likely be a blockbuster type of thing, kind of like in the vein of Inception and Tenet and the Batman trilogy, obviously. Looking to get back into those bigger movies, just because even though Oppenheimer is technically a smaller movie, it made over $1 billion, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, either way, always looking forward to a new Christopher Nolan film, especially if there's a bit more action in there. And then apparently Keenan Allen was told by Jim Harbaugh himself that he does see him as a future part of the future plans for the Chargers, which is nice. I know they just have to do some work because there's like the 4 of the highest contracts going into next season. The Chargers have them on their team because they basically just kept pushing the money back till their final season. So he could still work out a deal. I think with Keenan Allen, I'd prefer to keep him over Mike Williams, who will most likely get cut. Then you just have to decide with Bosa and Mack. You could either extend both or maybe cut one. You never know, or trade one. But yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing the future, what ends up happening with the Chargers and some of their hardball players, as they call them. Yeah, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.